Hey, happy fall. We are midway through October, which is absolutely hard to believe. And it's about time we had a little chat about the market, what's been happening, what we expect for 2021, and the trends that we've seen recently. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our home sales. Our average price per square foot right now, if you take in all sales in the valley, is at $201.99. That's up 3.5% from last month, and it's actually up 8.8% over the last 3 months. So I think that's the most startling thing that we have going on right now, despite the bleak economic outlook for 2021 because of COVID, and some of the projections that I've seen in some of the news industries for foreclosures and things like that. We just don't see that trend here in the Phoenix metro area or any of the surrounding cities. One of the trends we've actually seen is the supply still remains below normal, and the distressed supply is shockingly lower than it normally is as well. So the distressed market actually only makes up about 0.7% total of what our average home sales are. So if you're an investor out there and you've been thinking, hey, I'm going to start, kind of getting into this market, I want to do some flips, I want to do some buy and holds, this is a great time, I can get a deal. That's not likely the case. Our REOs make up 0.4% of home sales, and the foreclosures and short sales actually only make up 0.3% of the current sales that we've been seeing. So the market here in Arizona continues to be strong, and it will continue that way going into 2021. And some of the big drivers for that include the low mortgage rates right now. We're seeing rates under 3% still. If you're doing a 15-year mortgage, we're even seeing 2.5%. So if you have some questions about that, go ahead and speak to a lender. We've got a couple that we work with closely, and talk to them about your 2021 goals, because it is a fantastic time to get into a home. Your monthly payments will likely be much lower than what you anticipate. And if you're renting right now, they're definitely going to be lower than what you can rent for, because there's so many people moving into the metro area. The rental rates that we've been seeing are significantly higher than what they've been in the past. So what can you expect if you're a buyer coming in and you're trying to find a house this fall? Well, normally we start to see a upwards trend, say that 3 times fast, in inventory. We have seen a slight increase in our inventory. However, the demand that we have right now is kind of making that a moot point. So hang in there. You may be writing multiple offers on different properties. You may be up against different offers. So a couple different ways you can structure your offer to make it strong is bring more cash to the table. Make sure you have more money for covering closing costs, a down payment. You may need to waive an appraisal even. And if you're worried about that, because of the jump in home prices, we actually, I would take that into account. I would sit down and have a conversation with your agent or our team about where you see the market going in that area. Because if you waive an appraisal, or if you are willing to pay $1,000 or $2,000 over appraisal price, you'll get that back in the market that we're seeing right now. Couple other ways is, one thing we don't recommend is waiving the inspection. You can waive requesting repairs. However, when you do buy a house, you want to make sure you know what's going on with that house, how the lifespan is for the big things, especially like the water heater, the roof, the air conditioning units. And if you love the house, you can totally be willing to waive asking for repairs. However, again, I never recommend having anyone waive the inspection itself, only because you definitely want to know what's going on in that house. And you may be surprised. You may find something that you're just not willing to move forward on that deal with. We've had that in the past. So the market supply, we continue to see a little bit of an increase in inventory. We've been seeing that with some of our clients in certain areas. In other areas, it's still as tight as ever. And so it is hard. So you do have to have some patience. And if you are contingent and you need to sell your home first, you definitely want to make sure you get your house listed and sold, and then you can start shopping. And I know it causes some stress because you may be in between, or you're going to be a little stressed about, well, can I lease it back for a little bit after we close? There's so many different scenarios that we can work through with you to make sure that you're not homeless in between the sales. But that is something that trying to get contingent on a home purchase right now is going to be very difficult. But a couple key things on the market that we can expect. One, we'll see a slight increase in the inventory. However, the market demand will kind of eat that up. Number two, we're continuing to see those prices still increasing, and that's because the demand is so high and driving those prices up. And number three, despite the bleak economic outlook that we're seeing for 2021, we're not anticipating that is going to occur here, that we're going to see any drastic prices fall. And that's only because, we look at the data, we look at Cromford Report statistics, and we kind of analyze what's happening, and at the rate we're going right now, it would take a while to see that impact. It might be later in 2021 or 2022 if anything crazy happens with foreclosures. However, as it stands right now, when they make up 0.3% of the market sales, it's really not where it's going. So if you have any questions, you can always reach us at 602-753-9238, or you can hit us up, send us a direct message. You can request to do an appointment at our website, www.vistagroup.us, or, send us a text too. We get text messages at that number. I hope you guys have a great rest of your October. Have fun on Halloween, and we'll get back to you next month. Bye.